As you can see, we're sort of stuck in the trailer this morning. We had an ice storm here last night, and that's ice covering the steps leading out of the trailer. And ice on the handlebar here by the door. And it got a little snowy looking on that patch of gravel there. And this is what the rest of the campsite looks like from my doorway, because I am not stepping 1 foot on those steps right now.
Hi, I'm Jill.
And I'm John.
And we're the Geezers on the Go.
Go, go, go!
This time we're at Raven Rock State Park along the banks of the Cape Fear River in the Piedmont region of North Carolina. The park is near Lillington, about halfway between Raleigh and Fayetteville. It has 24 RV sites, 9 with full hookups. The rest are primitive. It also has 6 cabins and is well known for its massive rock formation named for the son of an Indian chief.
And yes, the weather in this part of North Carolina can turn nasty in January. But at least this park was spared most of the ravages of Hurricane Helene a few months earlier. The park is fairly secluded, but it draws a lot of savvy travelers for its miles and miles of biking and hiking trails. Its most famous trail is to Raven Rock, and we'll show you at least some of it. At least as much as we could before the cold and ice shut us down.
We're here at Raven Rock State Park in Lillington, North Carolina, and we were thinking we're coming down south. It'll be a little warmer. It's January 10th, and we had an ice storm last night. We're in site number 22, and we're right now the only ones here. Here comes the ranger down the road, braving the roads. The roads look a little slick, but not too bad. You can see from our little sign there's little icicles hanging down. But the place is beautiful, nice big site. We happen to be on the, I think it's a handicap site, so we were all concrete, which probably is worse because of the ice. The gravelly ones are probably easier to walk on. But we have full hookups here, water, electric, and sewer. And we're right next to the bathroom. Should get too cold, and it's heated, so that's good. But as you can see here, a very big site and lots of trees behind us, and nobody's really that close. And there's lots of cabins here too. Wish the sewer line was a little bit closer to the trailer. I had to hook up an extra hose, but there's the sewer and water and electric and nice trees behind us, so if you had kids it'd be fine. And there's supposed to be some cool trails behind here that you can go see if you can see things, so we'll maybe check that out later. But as you can tell, still pretty icy here with the icicles coming off the trailer. The weather now is warmed up a bit. It's about 1 o'clock now, and a lot of the ice is melted, although you can still see it in the grass. But if I had time, I'll take a little walk around the campground. As you can see, these sites are really big. We're at site number 22. This is number 20, and that one, that's 21, and then 20 over there. And I would say about half the sites in this park, there's only I think 24 sites. And like one other state park here in North Carolina thought was odd, there's no dump station. So if you're at one of the sites without one, I'm not sure how you dump. One time they said you could come, if there was one of these sites, you could dump in these sites, but that would be very inconvenient. But there's also some cabins down here, and we're going to go take a look. This says it's cabin number 2, and as you could tell, they got a very long driveway up to the cabin. And a picnic table and some chairs outside, and a nice fire ring. So let's walk up to the window and see if we can see anything. further examination. I think somebody's hit that one, so I won't look in that one again. But it looks like there's a couple of beds and looks very comfortable. Well, lucky for me, I was this cabin here, number 2. I found people down the road that were there with some tent people who stuck it out in the cold. But he said they decided to get the cabin for the night. And it's hard to see in there, but he said I could look in. There's a bed and there's a bunk beds and there's a little sitting room. He says they wanted to get out of the ice storm, so they went and rented the cabin for the night. Good for them. There's us again at 22, and a very nice bathhouse, nice and heated, brand new. And on the far side of us here, there's a few more cabins, and they're all very nice. They're heated, and I think they have air conditioning, so it'll be a very pleasant place to stay. As you come into the park, it's basically a self check-in. There's a big sign here that gives you some information. There, proceed if you have a site, call if you don't. And most of the sites up until about site 11, they're very nice sites, but there's no hookups at all. They're just basic sites.
There's no dump
and there's
station.
No dump station, which makes no sense to me. We were another one, Jones Lake State Park. It's the same way, but I don't know if you were at these other sites what you do. I said they're nice sites. They have water at some of the sites, but other than that, they're just big long sites in the trees. Also scattered around the loop, they have the trash cans here for regular trash and recycling, and they're metal, I guess, to keep the animals out. And that's very convenient. You don't have to go travel too far. And there are some water spigots around for the sites that don't have any water, so you can use those. That's site 18. It's a little out in the open, as is this one, which would be 17, but they have full hookups. Next to be 16, that's a big rig, so you can tell that you have lots of space. And not a lot of trees, so I'm not sure how great this might be in the summertime, but they sure give you a lot of room. And across the road is just woods, and there are some trails that come back there. You just have to figure out. And there's bike trails as you come into the park. So, and the road here is paved, so if you had a bike, it'd be easy for kids to go right around the loop. Yeah, that's site number 16. That's a pretty nice site because you got a lot of space out in the front, although you're sort of facing the road. And that has full hookups. And then we're over here. There's another trail down this way. There's some hardy souls. Hope they were okay last night. It has a lot of water, electric, and sewer there, but they don't have they only have tents. Hope they were okay with all the ice last night. It's site 14, which is a nice deep site too, but again, no trees, and you're right by the road. Well, this one would be very nice, I think, because you're way back here. That would be probably 13. Lucky 13. It goes real deep and back into the trees. This is site number 12. It says it's closed. Maybe there's something not working on that site right now. Middle of winter, who knows, could be electric or whatever. But the other day when I came by, I said this site 12 was closed. Well, I guess they're finally fixing something. Maybe there was something wrong with the sewer or the water line, but there's a little digger guy there, and he's fixing the site. Site 11 looks like it must be the camp host, although nobody's been here, so I don't think they have one right now. But I said there's 24 sites, and the water, electric, and sewer ones start at 11 and go around to the other end of the loop, and the ones that, as you come into the park, have nothing. I would say to our side at 22, right now it's a lot of shade because of the trees, and it seems it took a little longer for everything to melt from our spot. But if you're here in the summertime, it's probably really nice because these tall trees here, pine trees, give you pretty good shade. This is a Raven Rock State Park here. It's kind of nice. It's very secluded. It's
cold.
It's cold. There's only 2 people here, us and some other crazy people. It's named after a son of an Indian chief who was supposedly captured, and they left him hanging on this Raven Rock, and somebody saved him, and that's why it's named Raven Rock.
Well, yes, and the son of the Indian chief was named Raven. So
right, yeah.
It's a small park. but the sites are huge.
Yeah, they're so long.
Yeah, the only problem here is that with the limited number of full hookup sites, there's no dump station.
Right, and I can't figure that out. We have another state park in North Carolina went to had the same thing, but
there might be some place around here that they can send you to dump, but we have a full hookup site, so we never found that out. The park itself is not old,
No.
but it was built in the 60s.
Yep, but the campground only opened in 2020, and it was very limited because it was right when COVID was.
Limited opening.
And he said they really didn't do full-time camping till about 2022, I was told.
There's a couple of small towns near here.
Lillington.
Lillington and Sanford, and they'll have all your shopping needs. There's nothing spectacular about either town.
Only hard thing about this, I mean, if you were a full-timer, there would be a good place to stop because you got full hookups, but they close the gate at 6 o'clock. So once you're here, you're here. You can't even go out for dinner.
No, you want to eat early.
I guess. But they have a couple of nice, cool trails here in the park. There's one called, right next to us, behind the big new bathhouse. It's called a wilderness trail, and you go from kiosk to kiosk, and they tell you little things about the park, and you have to know how many steps there are, and so it's kind of fun.
You tried to get down to Raven Rock, but because of that ice storm we had a day ago, it was just too treacherous to climb the stairs.
So we'll show you some pictures of it. Also, when you're coming into this park, call the office and make sure you get the right directions into the park.
Yeah, otherwise you're going to wind up fording a stream and going up a really steep hill.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
Oh, it was terrible. We end up having to back out on the road. The ranger came and helped us out, and he blocked so nobody else came.
And showed us the right way to come in.
But it's a decent...
The day after we arrived, the storm hit, covering everything in a glistening sheet of ice. In this part of the country, that's an apocalyptic event. Luckily, the sun is supposed to come out, and it's supposed to get up to in the mid-40s today, so all this will be gone. But right now, it's not gone. It's almost 9 o'clock here now. About 2 hours since I took the first video of our little ice storm, and already things are starting to melt. It's getting kind of drippy. It's probably around 32, 33 degrees here, and the sun will be out soon. Well, Jill is venturing out. Say hello, Jill.
Hello, Jill.
She's out there ice skating in her boots.
The table is totally frozen, but the sun is coming. The sun's coming out, so I think it'll be okay in another hour or so. The main road looks dry, fairly dry. So.
Yeah, and it's about 35 degrees here, something like that.
It looks kind of pretty, with the trees are kind of icicling.
Yeah,
okay.
the sun's shining off the icicles.
Probably ice skating. You have to be careful I don't fall down and crack my head.
Yeah, don't do that. Unless you give me forewarning so I can get it on video.
Yeah.
Well, it's the next day, and as you can see, the ice is off all the roads. There's still some remnants in the grass here, but the concrete pad is all dry. And it's out of the trees. The sun has come out, and it's a beautiful day, even if it's a bit cold. And the other thing I wanted to mention is that in this cold weather, it's been down into the low mid-20s at night, and I just got done putting a new propane tank on here. We have the 30-pounders or 7-gallon tanks, and we used one up in about 5 days.
Just before you get to the visitor center, there's a parking lot over here with a nice big shelter here if you wanted to have a get-together, and this is the trail that takes us down to the Raven Rock, which I think this is supposed to be noted for. It says it's about a mile down to it, And it's a little chilly again now. It's in the mid-40s. But we're going to take a walk down and see if I can find it. So far in here, it's a very flat trail, so they said it's supposed to be an easy trail, but we'll see as we go along, because they said once we get to the end there might be a bunch of steps, but right now it's pretty flat. Looks like I'm getting to someplace. Here's another sign. And it says there's the Raven Rock Loop and the Little Creek Loop, so I think I gotta go up these steps. Okay. More steps. Seem to go to all these places. I got steps, steps, and more steps. Well, it appears I've sort of made it. I haven't quite got to the rock. It's probably down that row. And I'm going to sit here and take a little rest before I continue. More steps, it says. I was hoping once I was here I could see something, but now I got to go down these steps again. Oh, geezers, I'm not sure how many would make it. Well, folks, I'm not sure I'm going to get down to the bottom, because I don't think I could make it up and down these steps. So I think I just did a whole bunch of walking to get nowhere. And there's the Cape Fear River. And I'm not going to go down here. We just had an ice storm, and the steps are all icy. So we're just going to have to find some pictures to show you what it looked like. Found this little sign here inside the bathroom that says there's a Discovery Woods self-guided tour that's right behind the bathhouse here. So we're going to go look and see what we could see. It says geology, flora, fauna of the park. So here we go. There's the bathhouse, and here's where the trail starts. It says take your brain for a hike. And there we are right there. And we'll start walking down here to see what it is along this trail. Well, this sign says that a road used to stretch from Raleigh to Fayetteville in this area and cross the Cape Fear River, which is at the one end of the park that you can hike into. Then it tells you to find the name of the people who lived here, and it tells you to travel 51 paces southwest to learn about the family history of Raven Rock. Okay, I got to the next one. It says the name of the family was the Patterson family. How about that? And the Northington family. So I went walk from up that way down to here. It was about 50-something steps. And then the next one wants me to find a white rock found in the park. Now let's go. Oh, I just noticed. There is a little compass there so you can figure out which way you're going. 556, 57, 58, 59, 60, and just about what they said to find that the milky quartz. Raven Rock sits on the fall zone area where there's hard rocks, and the underlying rocks were formed more than 40 million years ago. So I got there from over in that area, and then we'll have to find out what the next one is. I think there's 14 in all, so we'll see how many we can get to. Well, number 11 kind of tells you a lot about birds, and it says you might actually see some turkeys walking around here. I haven't seen any yet. They're probably hiding. It's too cold. Good turkeys and tangers and ravens and owls. Almost to the end here on the number 13. I think there's 14 or 15. And this tells you all about the different reptiles you might see. Snakes, skinks, salamanders. Okay, folks, I made it to the last one, number 14. This one tells you about the little bugs that you might see in the area. Little beetles and bees and butterflies. I think they're all asleep. It's too chilly. But I've made it to the last one. And there's my trailer. So we completed the Discovery Woods. Yay! And in case you care, this is what my Discovery Woods hike looked like on our GPS. Kind of all over the place, huh?
And that, my friends, is a wrap. Hope you had fun, and as always, we'll see you down the road.
Stop, stop.